this computer and let's go live on YouTube. Let's see what it does here. Okay, looking good. I haven't tried some of this. Dr. Kirby actually was asking me to try some of this, and so we're trying it out. Allow. Okay, and allow. Okay. I have a whole bunch of buttons to click here, so that's what I'm doing here. And aha, so I can't go live because that feature is not enabled to the school email. Okay, so that's going to be the issue. All right. Sorry for the delay, guys. I thought it'd be nice to spend a little bit of time making the technology better, but I have to have you guys in the room to make this better. So I can't use that account. Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and I'll have to set up a different account for that to work with Zoom. I suspected that. So yes, I went up to the school today, picked up some of my work that was handed in, talked to Dr. Kirby for a little while. I suggested that Dr. Kirby do a live session sometime, maybe like once a week, next week maybe. And him and Mr. Morgan, I think, are going to do it. So they need the platform to do that. And I think the best way would be to do it using Zoom and then doing a live stream to Facebook and YouTube. That way, you know, I think some students don't want to log on because they're worried about, you know, the camera being on or the you know, microphone being on, which is understandable. If you just went to the Facebook version, it'd be like watching TV. You could interact with the, you know, the posts. You could type in things and do the emojis, but you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, your camera going on or, you know, your audio going off crazy or any of that. I had a question yesterday and I don't see Serenity. Let me see if she's actually in the class. Nope, doesn't look like it. So she had a good question though yesterday. The question was, how do you get your stuff from your lockers? I asked Dr. Kirby this question. He said, you guys have to go up to the school like one at a time or when you get a chance and let them know that you want to get your stuff. And they'll send a janitor to your locker with a trash bag and they'll put everything in your locker in that bag and then bring it to you. So it's kind of like on a student by student basis. So if you want to get stuff out of your locker, you're going to need to probably do it that way. So that was the locker question. Can you guys hear me okay? Is everything working good on your end? Only have 2 of you today. Huh. Well, that's going to change. All right. So I had a meeting with the teachers this morning. Good news. Good news is we had a long discussion about the NTI work. We had a long discussion about some of the grading, how we're going to grade, what grading is appropriate. And we're going to finish the novel since we're so close, and we're going to go over today's reading. After the novel, though, I think we're going to change pace a little bit. What do I mean by that? Well, for those of you who are logging into the live class, awesome. I want to see more of that, and I want to see more interaction with discussion boards on Moodle. So I'm going to shift the focus to that. I'm not going to rely heavily on completion of, you know, quizzes and tests and assignments and all of that. I'm going to base more of our focus on social interaction. So I might have an assignment like find something that's of interest to you and talk about it in the discussion board. If you want to talk about the COVID-19 things that are happening, so be it. If you want to talk about things that are going on with school or what you might like to do with school, you could do that. The main point would be the interaction. And as I see teachable moments, I can jump in and add things onto it. For the live sessions going forward, I'd like to come up with, neat little mini lessons, but they might be really out of the box, or the thinking might be out of the box. So we might do some stuff with the hydroponics that I have going in the basement. We have some plants going out outside. I think we're getting a frost advisory tonight, so I have to watch that. But I'd like to do some more interesting live sessions. And then this is a reading class, so maybe I'll have something where I ask you guys to share something that you've read. That way I can get more students, because I have students coming in that weren't even here before we left. We have a couple of new students, and how are they going to keep up or catch up or get in pace with a lot of the work that is already on there for NTI work? So that's what I'm going to do moving forward, and your other teachers are going to be kind of following the same suit. There's no way we can have classwork and instruction like it's face-to-face under these circumstances. So that's kind of an update. I'll let you know more as I know more. The district's trying to set a hard due date of April 15th as being the cutoff for, I think, NTI days 4 through I guess 17 or whatever it is. And after that, they're not going to accept the work, and they're telling us to put zeros in. Well, I don't think that's going to fly. I can just tell you that right now. I really doubt that's going to actually happen. I think we're going to have a lot of parents complaining about that. So we'll see. As far as it goes, you know how I work. I have to have grades in by some point in the future, and I keep collecting them from students until I have to turn them in. And if I have to turn them in and I haven't gotten a grade, well, then that's what gets handed in. The students that need to worry are the students that are not logging into anyone's system, the students that are not making contact. Those students really need to worry. Dr. Kirby and Mr. Morgan, as we speak, are making house visits. That is correct. If we have not heard from you, we have a whole list of students. They're out knocking doors. So if you know someone that hasn't logged in or hasn't talked to any of their teachers, well, they're going to get a visit from Mr. Morgan and Dr. Kirby. So that's some of the updates. I wonder, I think I'll mess around with the live streaming with this maybe over the weekend and see if I can get it going. So if you're bored over the weekend and you want to just test out technology, I'll probably post in Moodle. I'm going to mess with Zoom and going live maybe at 1 o'clock on Saturday or something, or Sunday. And you're welcome to join if you're around. Nothing required, nothing really to do with the class. It's just going to be to see if we can get the live stream to feed from Zoom into Facebook and then YouTube. That way Dr. Kirby can do that next week. Oh, one last update on Zoom that's really important. Since a lot of students have been having trouble getting in, I'm going to share my screen. So let me check the chat. Okay. Let me share my screen with you guys. I did make one fundamental change to Zoom. I was creating links every day, and the reason for that was to keep everything more secure. So when you enter the course now, I changed some of those icons that are the overall icons for the class. Notice there's a Zoom icon. Pretty much if you know that we're having a live session at 1:30 every day, you can click that and it'll take you to the current live session every day. It's a reoccurring meeting. So the meeting now never stops. It never starts and it never ends. It's constantly going. If I'm not there and you click on it, well, I'm not sure what you'll get. Probably kind of like the governor's live thing. It'd be just saying meeting not available right now. but that'll make it easier because that icon will always take you to the live class. And hopefully that'll make things a little easier. Other things to note, I'm going to change the site back to when you log in to openmoodle.org, not log in, but when you go to openmoodle.org, instead of it showing you this page right here, give me a second. This is where, if you type in openmoodle.org right now, this is where it takes you because so many students couldn't log in. And still, even though it says, is this your first time here? I should change that to, can you not remember your password? I give the login formula, the instructions, the password, my email, my phone number, and the mobile app if you by chance need that. The create new account, I don't think that button's working right now. I did a lot to Moodle to stop people from creating their own accounts. I tried to make it so students from 8th grade could get back in and create accounts if they wanted to join STLP. That's what that was for. But I'm going to be taking and changing this to where when you go to openmoodle.org, it's going to take you to the front page, which is the site home. And I'm going to do some changes to the home page where I will put probably a whole slide screen up. Number one will be, help, I can't log in. And then I'll do an icon under that, help, I can't log in. So then if students come into the system and they've forgotten their password or they can't log in, it'll be right there. And then that'll take them to the login page. So that's the plan, because more and more there's news and announcements and events happening at school. I want to be able to post those on the front page, so you don't even have to log in to be able to see them. That'll allow people from the community to see openmoodle.org and to kind of see what's going on and find out some information. I can post things on like the class, how to log in, how to get into other teachers, Google Classrooms. I can put links for them to get a hold of me. Right now, the way it is, it's really locked down. So that's going to be the changes happening this weekend to Moodle. Let me just, since I see messages here, check and see if someone's okay. I don't see anything really new. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share and check the chat to see if there's any questions. Okay, no questions it looks like. So, Tangerine, today's chapter is Thursday. No, that's not today's chapter. Today's chapter is, oh, I dropped my book when I first started the session. I lost my page. That's why. Today's chapter is Tuesday, November 28th, I believe. Let me get there. Yes. And guess what? Louis Cruz is dead. That's how the chapter starts off. Pretty interesting, huh? So in the last chapter, we were waiting to see what happened to Eric and Arthur. Nothing happened because Louis was found dead in the orange grove field. And Paul learns this in first period, and Henry D tells him that Louis's father found him in one of the orange groves dead. Henry D's brother, Wayne, answered the emergency call. When Wayne reached him, he had been dead for hours. Henry says that people are guessing that it was from an aneurysm, like, in your brain, possibly after a knock in the head, perhaps from a falling tree branch during the freeze when they were working on the orchards. But I don't remember that happening in the novel. The only thing I remember hitting Louis in the head was Arthur hitting him with a blackjack. So Paul goes to the office and calls his mom and waits for her in the nurse's office. As they drive home, Paul tells his mom the story of Louis Cruz in kind of like short form. He doesn't mention Arthur or Eric, but he wonders how she would react if he were to tell her everything, but he doesn't say anything because he's worried. Yes, pretty interesting, huh? When they reach home, Paul does some research on the internet and he verifies what he suspects is true. Arthur Bauer killed Louis with that blackjack. So Louis was killed as a result of Arthur hitting him with the blackjack. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. So that's the chapter for today. So it's kind of interesting when you think about it, the consequences that these characters are seeing with their actions. You know, I don't think Arthur intended to kill Lewis, but that's sometimes what happens when you get into these situations, that you can have unintended consequences. Now, how is this going to play out in the next chapters? I can't wait to find out, and I can't wait to see. So we will keep reading. I think right now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to look at Moodle real quick on my other computer screen as a look ahead. So we got Monday. I'm going to go ahead and make that available now. Show topic. So that will now appear on your screens. Oh, I have to refresh my page and log in. But it looks like we are slated to, oh, wait a minute here. Monday. Yeah, Monday is the chapter. And then Tuesday I have to fix. So let me make sure that Monday's chapter is actually, yeah, Monday's good. So we're good to go for Monday. Tuesday, we've got still a chapter. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, I got to update Moodle. I haven't gotten that far yet. So we're basically going to be wrapping up the book here within a few days. So I might add some stuff to the reading. Because a couple of these chapters are like this, guys. They're like, literally, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a page. It's a half page for a chapter. So I might double up versus what I had originally assigned. And that'll get us through the book. And once we get through the book, we're going to kind of revert to doing some more interesting things, some fun things. And I thought I only have about maybe 5 minutes left that I can do the put into the session. But we might even be able to talk about some historical events and things like that. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but this whole idea of the COVID-19 virus is not really new. The Spanish flu hit the United States in 1918 during World War I. So when that happened, they had the same thing going on. They practiced social distancing. It lasted about, I think, 6 to 8 months. It did have some pretty profound effects on the economy, but it was kind of similar to what we're experiencing now, except now we have a much more global society. We fly to other places. There's a lot more travel, so the virus is spreading more. But the virus, at least this time, is not as dangerous as the Spanish flu was. The Spanish flu was incredibly dangerous. So if you're curious about that, that's something that you could look up. And after we get done with the novel, that's what we might be able to do for some of our discussions, is look at things like that, or look at things that are interesting to you guys. And you guys can even share, what have you been doing with all this time off? Have you just been inside doing all of your NTI work, or have some of you been four-wheeling? Have some of you been fishing? I know when I was your guys' age, I would have been outside building tree forts, we can share stuff like that. So we'll also get down into the greenhouse and play with some plants. I do still plan on going. Actually, I'm probably going to head out this afternoon once I get my numbers turned in for the day, and head towards probably TSC to see if I can't get a couple of saplings to do grafting with sometime next week. So are there any questions or comments? I've been inside, outside, and everywhere. All right. Yeah, it's a little bit colder today, but I actually have a stream that runs behind my house, and I do have a cast net from the Florida Keys. You probably don't know what a cast net is, but it's a large, not large, it's a net that you have to throw, and that's how we catch bait in the Florida Keys. And it's probably illegal here, who knows, but I thought about going down to the stream and throwing the cast net in to see if there was any fish in there. It's actually an art. Throwing a cast net is not easy. If I can remember the one technique that a fishing guide showed me, I think it's called the Cuban technique. I don't like the Cuban technique because they hold the cast net out like this, and they hold it with their teeth, and then they throw the net, and then it fans open over the water and drops. I use a fold technique to where I throw it and give a spin to it that opens it up wide. Maybe once we get down the novel, I can do this. I can either drive my truck across the field and use the Wi-Fi connection in my truck, or I have these Wi-Fi repeaters, and they're meant to, we use them at resorts. We would shoot internet up to 1 mile away, and I could put one of those on the side of my house and hit that stream. So in other words, I could actually take you guys with me on the video, go down to the stream and demonstrate how to throw a cast net. Who knows? Maybe we'll even catch a fish, or maybe we'll get run off. It's not my property. It's actually the farmer's property back there. But I think when it comes to waterways, you have a public easement. So we'll find out. But that's the type of things I would like to do moving forward. Then again, let your friends know, text people, let them know that Mr. Parmentier, and maybe we'll have other guests on our live sessions, maybe other teachers, maybe even Dr. Kirby, maybe Mr. Morgan. I know I have to go up to the school next week, and I was going to ask Dr. Kirby if he wanted to be on as a co-host with the live session. If you noticed, did any of you notice Dr. Kirby was in the class yesterday? Did anyone see his name? Maybe? No? Let me check the chat here. Really? No one? Oh, yes. Dr. Kirby was in the session with you guys. Can you see each other in Zoom? Okay, you can. Okay. I can see all the participants that are in. I got Nathan and Merrick and Kyle, which is great. But I want to get more people. So text your friends, post on Facebook if you've got students that are in class, 7th graders, and say, hey, and if I need to, I can actually post the link in Moodle, and you can repost the link and share it on Facebook so that everyone can join that live session. Just make sure that they know to use their real name if they have to type in their name, because if you're coming in as Joe Smith, I'm not going to let you in. I need to be able to recognize the names. So just for some element of security, because once you put that link on Facebook, anybody can get in. So I need to be able to recognize the name. Speaking of that, when you guys log into Zoom, like for this session today, did you have to put your names in, or did Moodle propagate the name for you? I think Moodle puts it in there for you, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, no, you didn't have to put your name in. Or you did have to put your name in. I put it in there okay, good. All right, yeah, so make sure that if you can share the link, make sure that the other students know that they have to use their real name, or I have to know it's them, or else I won't let them in. Moodle did it for you, okay. Yeah, and the other thing you can do is put the link, maybe I'll put the link to Moodle in, so they'll have to log in. Then once they log in, it'll just launch into the live session, and it'll grab their name and put it in for them. That'd probably make it easier. So yes, but that is one of our main focuses. We really want to get more students involved. So in other words, what your teachers, myself included, are trying to tell the students that are not in these live sessions and not doing the discussion board posts is, we are going to probably be waiting 80 to 90% of your grade on that. We don't care about the work. And I've told you this before. In fact, let me grab a packer real quick. I have to end this session real quick. Okay, right here. I picked this up today. When I get work, am I seriously going to sit here and go through 4,000 pages of student work when I have no idea who did it, where it came from? I can't even read some of it. So the handwriting's so bad. So how do we grade it? Well, that's why we're going to put more emphasis on the interacting with students. That's going to be the focus. So that's just to give you guys a heads up. I'm not sure how that's going to play out with some of your other teachers, how they're going to do that. But for my class, you know, if they turn stuff in, that's one thing. But most of my grading is going to stem from who's been in Moodle and been working around, been following along on a weekly basis. So that's all the updates, and that's pretty much all I have for today. Are there any questions? I'm already late. Well, I'm going to get the other meeting fired up here just so I can jump into that. I'm not even sure if they're going to have the meeting today because Dr. Kirby and Mr. Morgan might not be back yet from doing the live class session. So if there are no more questions, that's all I have for today. And like I said, I will post in there if I do that test meeting this weekend. And if you have suggestions for things you'd like to see me doing in class, you know, shoot me an email, post it in discussion, the announcements or the, you know, the student help discussion maybe, and that'll work. Yes, this does count for weekly communication and it's super easy to track. So that's going to be really important. So all right, guys, looks like my meeting's starting right here. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the next meeting. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys later.